Good morning, grade 9. Good day. And at this point of time, we are going to discuss the word formation processes. So when we talk about word formation processes, this refers to the process or set of word derivation process, meaning how are the words being formed? What are the process that a certain word has to undergone to be able to be formed? So how are new words being formed? So we are going to study that today. So the first one is what we call clipping. So as it reads on the presentation, it is the process of forming a new word by clipping off a part of an existing word. It involves shortening of an existing word by removing one or more syllables without changing the original meaning of the word. We'd like to highlight on the italicized terms on the second paragraph or sentence rather, that when we clip, we only make the word short by removing some part of the words, may them be in the beginning or in the end of the word, but the meaning of the word is still the same as the original full spelled meaning. Okay? So an example of clipping or word that has undergone clipping is the word exam. We know that it came from the word examination, but to conveniently use the word so that we would have convenience in using the word most often than in our daily basis, we don't always say examination, we just say exam. Like for instance, there will be an an upcoming exam on the following weeks. So, although we just simply said the word exam, we still mean the full version, like the examination. I mean, we did not change the original meaning of the word. Exam and examination has the same meaning. We just made the word examination short by clipping off or deleting letters I-N-A-T-I-O-N and make the word examination exam. Okay? So there are types of clipping. How do we clip? What are the parts of the words that we delete? So the first one is final or back clipping. Here, what we are deleting is the back half or the final part of the word. Like memorandum, we shorten it and make it clipped it and use the word memo instead. So we don't always say, there has been a memorandum issued for you. We usually say, a memo has been issued for you. Same with information. We don't always say information. We simply say casually on a daily basis, info. So those words, memo and info, were formed using back clipping or final clipping, where we delete the back half or the last parts of the word. Okay? The next one is the complete opposite. So if we have final clipping or back clipping, we also have initial or fore clipping, wherein we delete the beginning of a word. Like in the words robot and alligator. So usually and casually we say bot and gator instead of their full words. Okay? So I know you can think of other words that has undergone initial or for clipping. Same with uh final or back clipping. Now, aside from initial and final clipping, we also have what we call mid clipping. But the catch here is we are not removing the middle part of the word. Because in initial clipping and final clipping, we are removing what we mentioned. Like if it is initial clipping, what we are clipping is the initial part. If it is final clipping, what we are clipping is the final part. But the mid clipping is ironic. Here, we are not clipping off the middle part, but we are uh clipping off the beginning and the end, and we keep, okay? We keep the middle part. Like in the word influenza. So the clip version is flu. So on a daily basis, you don't say, I have influenza. But we usually say, I have a flu. And we know that flu and influenza mean the same. Okay? So that's for clipping. Now, aside from that, we also have what we call compound clipping. Now, this compound clipping involves clipping more than one word or clipping of compound words. So, compound words are a set of words that is composed of two words but only have one meaning, like science fiction. It is composed of two words, but galing mo, nagre-record ako tsaka ka pumasok. Long ba? Pinapangit mo pa yung recording ko. Awit sa'yo, gay-gay. Oh, we have two words here. It's a compound word. Science fiction is a compound word that refers to a genre of literature, as well as situational comedy. It refers to a genre of drama or a show. But it's compound clipping because what we are clipping are compound words. Still, the catch is we just make the word short, but we still keep the original meaning. Like sci-fi technically also means science fiction, the a genre of literature. Same with sitcom. It's still situational comedy. We do not change the meaning of a word. We simply make it short. Okay? Now, for a short activity, you answer it on your paper. What do you think are the original version of the following words? Van, psycho, fax, jammies, and net. You may pause the video if you want to think still, if you want to have more time to think of your answers. All right, so van came from the word caravan or a parade. Okay, then uh, psycho, the full word here is psychopath. You might think that it could be psychology, but psychology as a course or a study is most often than not shortened as psych, not psycho, not psycho. But if it is psycho, it is someone who is a psychopath or someone who is some sort of crazy or has lost his or her mind or someone who is insane. So fax is facsimile and jammies came from pajamas, and internet is the original term of the clipped word net. Now, network could also be considered for number five. Okay, so clipping is making the word short but keeping its meaning, original meaning. Next to that, we have what we call blending. So it reads that blending is also called portmanteau rather. It is formed by combining two words with different meaning to form a new one. It's about creating a novel word to describe a concept that merges two distinct ideas. Hence, the blended word carries a combined or hybrid meaning derived from the source word. So, in blending, we are combining two words. Very familiar with Dragon Ball Z. You know the fusion idea of Gohan and Trunks combining their characteristics, their powers. They're doing fusion. So we form another character, a combination of Gohan and Trunks. I forgot the name, but that's how blending works. We are combining two words with different meaning to be able to form a new word with another meaning. It's like word one plus word two equals new word. Okay? Like there are different ways on how we do it. Like for instance, we combine portions of two words to make a new one. Like a part of word number one plus the part of word number two equals the new word. And then the meaning would be a combined version of it, like a combination, a hybrid of those meaning. Like for example, the word camcorder came from the words camera, the device that captures a photo, still photo, and a recorder or something, a device that records voice or music or whatever. So when we form the word camcorder, we form a new word that would describe a machine, a device that could do what a camera and a recorder can do in one device. Okay? So a camcorder is something rather that we use to capture videos, can capture images and audio at the same time. Okay? Same as cyborg. It came from the word cybernetic plus organism. So it carries the combined meaning of a cybernetic, something that is technological, and an organism or a creature. So cyborg is another term for a technological creature or a robot, as we say. Okay? So we number one to blend words is to combine parts of two words. Part and part equals new word. Like part of a camera, cam, part of a recorder, corder, then we combine it and we form another word. Okay? That has a combination or a hybrid meaning of the source words. Okay? Then another one is we combine two words with one having its full word combined with a part of another word. Like for example, motorcade came from the word motor, and then plus cavalcade. Cavalcade is another term for parade. So a motorcade is something that is a parade where there would be motors or vehicles. Okay? So motorcade. We have used the full word motor plus a portion of a word cavalcade, and then we were able to form the word motorcade. So again, in blending, we add word number one plus word number two equals a new word. So in the first way, part of the word number one plus a part of word number two, then we form a new word. Okay? Way number two, we are using the full word plus a part of part of another word, and then we form a new one. Full plus part equals new word. The third way to blend is by overlapping or combining phonemes. So here, when we talk about phonemes, we talk about sounds. So like for instance, the word Spanglish came from the terms Spanish and English. Spanish is the language of the people living at Spain. English is the language of the people who lives in England, London, and in the UK. Now, we are going to look for the similar phoneme. In the case of Spanish and English, that's the sound of letter N. So that is where the blending happens. Spanglish in the sound of N. And here, we now have a new term that would describe the kind of English that the Spaniard people are using. Spanglish. Similar to us in the Philippines, Tagalog plus English, Taglish. It does not refer to code switching from Tagalog language to English language, but it is actually referring to the kind of language that we use as Tagalog speakers. So Taglish. Okay, like for instance, the word brown out is some sort of a Taglish because in the native speaking countries, they don't usually use the term brown out, but they are simply using the term black out. Here in the Philippines, black out and brown out means different. Like a brown out is uh a shortage or a lack of electrical supply or electricity for a short period of time, then blackout is a long period of time. But in the native speaking countries, they are not using the term brownout, just blackout. So that's an example of Taglish. So Spanglish came from the term Spanish and English. So the blending happens on the phoneme, on the similar phoneme. So in the case of Spanish and English, we had the letter N. Another way is omitting phonemes or omission or deletion of phonemes. So it seems like to be the first two, like for example here, it's part by part. However, the basis here is the sound. not technically simply the part or whatever. Here, it's like the full word plus the part of a word. But again, here, the blending occurs on the sound. Like, for example, Eurasia came from the term Europe plus Asia. And we have removed the sound op, of OPE in the word Europe and add Asia to form a new word that means that says Eurasia. So it means it is a part of the world where half is part of Asia and half is part of Europe, like the country Russia. Okay? So that's for blending. Now again, in blending, we are forming a new word by combining two words. But unlike in clipping we are shortening it and we are keeping the original meaning. In blending, some sort of we clip some part to it to add to another part or another word, but the meaning changes. Okay, the meaning in blending changes and it carries the hybrid or combination of meaning of the source words. Sa clipping, we are only, uh, in clipping, we are only shortening the terms, but we are keeping the original meaning. Okay? Now, let's have this activity. We have here five set of words, pairs, five pairs of words. Number one is breakfast and lunch, binary and digit, education and entertainment, emotion and icon, smoke and fog. So your goal is to identify the new word that we now are using. And by blending the words like breakfast plus lunch equals. Okay. So the answer here is number one, brunch, number two, bits, number three, edutainment, and number four, emoticon, and number five is smug. Okay, so that's for the second word formation process. It's blending. Now, following blending, we have what we call, okay, before we go there, let's compare hand in hand, clipping and blending, depending on the different feature that we have here. Clipping came from only one existing word. Even compound words are considered as one word. Okay? Like science fiction. They are considered one because the meaning is one. Blending came from two or more existing words. The result of clipping is the shortened version of a word. So blending, we are having a new word. And when it comes to their meaning, we retain the original meaning in clipping. In blending, we combine the meanings of the source words. The process that we are doing, we are shortening it. In blending, we are doing fusion or merging of the parts. And the purpose for clipping is conciseness, to make things short, or informality, to make it some sort of a casual. And here, blending, the purpose is to create the new concept or a new term. Okay? So, next to that is what we call acronym. So we are familiar to this because we call our school. We don't usually say, where do you study? We don't usually say, I study at our school, but we say the acronym of it. We study at CCI, right? So, acronym reads or means a word formed from initial letters of a name or by combining initial letters of a series of words. Acronym is always pronounced as a single word, not as individual letters. Like, for example, the word dole. So we don't say DOLE, we say dole for Department of Labor and Employment. Radar, we don't say RADAR, we say radar as radio detection and ranging. Okay? And NASA, we don't say NASA, we say NASA to refer to National Aeronautics and Space Administration. So, acronym is formed by the initial letters or combining initial letters of a series of words like DOLE, radar, and NASA. Okay? So, acronym is actually some sort of a form of abbreviation. It is a shortened form of a word or phrase such as Mr. for MR dot plus for Mr. or HR dot for hour that is still said as the words or words. So, although I spelled it out a while ago, we don't read it we don't read this term as MR dot. We say still if it still we say the full word even if we write it as abbreviated version. So still read as Mr., hour, street, avenue, example, versus Monday, Tuesday, January. So we just shorten it in writing, but abbreviation is still read as the full word. In acronym, we pronounce it as a single word, not as individual letters. Dollar, radar, DASA. For abbreviation, it is just shortened in writing, but we still read it as the full word. Mr., street, hour, avenue, example, versus Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on. Okay? So, acronym versus abbreviation to make it more understandable. The difference lies in the pronunciation. Acronym acronym pronounced the shortened form of a word like dole, NASA, radar. Abbreviations still pronounce the word as it is or using its initial like Mr., hour, doctor, Monday, Tuesday, the examples that we have mentioned a while ago. All acronyms are abbreviations. You have to take note of that an acronym is just a type of abbreviation, but not all abbreviation is an acronym. Okay? So, the catch here is if you want to do acronym, it is you don't just shorten words. They often simplify a long organization name, scientific name, or idea so that it would be easier to use. Some acronyms are so commonly used to the point that people forget that they are actually acronyms. Like for example, the term scuba. We are all familiar what scuba is, scuba diving and everything. But I think it is only today, if not, that we have found out that scuba is actually not a word by itself, but an acronym that means self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Okay, you get the point? So we don't say, I need a scuba apparatus. That's redundant because scuba in itself, the A in scuba, is actually apparatus. That's why we don't also say ATM machine because the M in the ATM is also machine. So redundant. But that's why we have acronym. We want to shorten the long organization name, like for example, the NASA, DOLE, and the like. DepEd. No, we don't always say Dep. We don't always say the Department of Education, blah blah blah. We say sometimes DepEd, DOLE, and the like. Okay. Now here we have a set of acronym. Now the goal for you is to determine what is the meaning of each acronym. So the first we have PIN, second we have UNICEF, third we have WWW, and we have SIM, the card, the one being inserted to the phones, and the term ASAP. Okay, I'm gonna give you time to think of your answers before I move to the next slide and reveal the answer. Okay? Or you may pause the video if you want to have some more time for thinking. Alright, so the answer for number one, PIN, is personal identification number. So again, it's wrong to say, can I have your PIN number? It's wrong to say that way because that would be redundant. It would mean personal identification number. So PIN is personal identification number. UNICEF stands for United Nations Children's Fund. WW stands for World Wide Web. Stands for Subscriber Identification Module. And ASAP means as soon as possible. So that's for our third word formation process, the acronym. Number four is compounding. So compounding is refer to the words which are formed when two or more words, more lexemes rather. Lexemes also pertain to words combine into a single new word. So words here are being combined. So unlike in blending, we are deleting some parts. So we are only using some parts. In compounding, we are using the full words. May be written as one word or as two words or two words joined with a hyphen. So how do we do compounding? We write the words. We are combining the words using spaces or as two words or as one word or with a hyphen. Like we call that according to structure we call that close compounds or those words that has been formed without spaces. Like sun plus flower, I mean they are two words, two different words. Sun is sun, source of light, and a flower is a flower. So a sunflower is a kind of flower that looks like a sun. So that's something else. Note plus book equals notebook. Key plus board equals keyboard. Bed plus room equals bedroom. So structure it is called close compound because they are now just a single word. Okay? We combine two words, we make them one word without spaces. So it is close compounds. Another is what we call open compound. So these are words has been combined, but they have spaces or they are written as two words. Compound words like science fiction, the one that we used as example a while ago. So ice cream, ice plus cream equals ice cream. Fire plus drill equals fire drill. And post plus office equals post office. And hyphenated are this one. So there is hyphen in the middle of the words like mother plus in plus law equals mother-in-law. Well plus being equals being, or well-being with a hyphen in between them. So that's for according to structure or how they are written, how they would be written with hyphen, with space, or just one word. Now, there is also compounding according to the meaning. So we have compositional compounding, wherein the meaning of a new word is determined by combining the meanings of the part. Like we are literally carrying the meaning of the two words and we combine the words and we also combine its meaning. Like for example, in the term blueberry, it refers to a berry that is color blue, right? So literally, the meaning is literally combined as well. Non-compositional, the meaning of a word cannot be determined by combining the meanings of the part. Like for example, the word break up. It does not literally mean breaking up word. So there's a different meaning for the word break up. It could be separation or ending of a relationship. So hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na literally naghiwalay sila pataas. Okay? Kasi it's a non-compositional compounding word. Okay? Get the point? So sunflower is also non-compositional because you don't literally that does not literally a flower and a sun. Huh? It was a non-compositional because it refers to a type of a flower with the color of the sun, but not actually the sun that is a source of light. Only in this zombie tsunami game, not zombie tsunami, Plant versus Zombies game that a sunflower as a plant would be a source of light or a sun, but in real life it is non-compositional. Okay? So that's for compounding. Structure-wise, it could be hyphenated with two words or just one word. With according to meaning could be compositional or non-compositional. Compositional if it carries the literal meaning of the term. Like the sources, the meaning of the source words is also the combined meaning of the combined word. Okay? For non-compositional, you cannot rely on the literal meaning of the source word. It has a different meaning in context. So, for the activity, determine the structural composition of these words. Like, when we talk about structural composition, are the words noun or noun plus noun, noun plus verb plus noun, like that. Like for example, the word lipstick is noun composition. Fast food is adjective noun composition. Breakfast is verb adjective composition. Sunshine is noun verb, and bittersweet is adjective composition of the word. So that's for compounding. So in compounding, we are combining the two words as a whole, okay, and forming a new word. Now, the last one is folk etymology. So, folk etymology refers to the changing of a word or the process, the changes that it is undergoing as time passes by. Phase over time is result from the replacement of an unfamiliar form by one more by a more familiar one rather. Like for example, the term salary. Before it is salary. I mean, we know that term now. That when we talk about salary, we talk about the wages of work, the compensation that the workers receive when they are working. So originally, folk etymologically speaking, the source of that word is the word salarium. That means salt money because during the Roman Empire time, the Roman times, they are using salt as payment so they could preserve their food. So now, as time passes by, of course, at this point of time, we are no longer receiving salt as payment for our work or for our employment. We are receiving money. So now we call that salary. From salarium, from salt, we call that salary. Again, we are just changing the terms, but technically the purpose is just the same. Payment for workers. Before, they call it salarium because what they are paying is salt or they are being paid using salt. But now, you are no longer going to accept salt as a payment for for your job, right? But the concept is there. It came from the word salarium or salary. Okay? Another here we have an activity. Can you guess the word which was borrowed directly from the Spanish term cucaracha? Cucaracha, rather. These are insects or pests you often find in buildings or even at home. They have been around since the time of the dinosaurs, and they can live up to 1 week without its head. So, what do you think is that pest, that insect that came from the term cucaracha rather, Spanish term? That's cockroaches. Yes. How about this one? This word started out as Arabic shama. The king, or Shah, is dead. Although other sources say that it literally means the king is left helpless, the king is stumped. It also borrowed from the old French word exécuter. So, what do you think is that? This term is usually used on a game of chess the king when the king in chess or the king of the opponent is left rather helpless. So what do you say? If you catch the king of your opponent, if you are playing chess, you catch the king of your opponent helpless, what do you say? You say checkmate. So the term checkmate is not only formed using compounding, but actually folk etymology because it came from a folk language and it has evolved over time. So from shama, that means the king is dead, we had the English term checkmate, wherein in the game of chess, that means the king would be dead or is left helpless. So that is for folk etymology. So those are the 5 word formation processes. So we have clipping, blending, acronym, compounding, and folk etymology. So I hope that you have learned something from this lesson. And if you still have more questions, you can ask me when we see each other face to face back in our school again. So The activity will be discussed more when we see each other again after this suspension and everything. So I will end the discussion at this time, and I hope you are in a good condition. You stay safe, and thank you so much for watching. I hope again that you have learned something. That would be all for today. Bye, people.